Hey folks, I'm Dave. Welcome to the basement and welcome to part two of my May 2024 vinyl collection update. I'm going to get things started with the latest album from my wife's favorite band, favorite metal band. And I dig them too, but definitely her favorite. And this is Myths of Fate by Leaves' Eyes. This came out in March of 2024 on AFM Records. This is the band's ninth album, and they are a German symphonic metal band formed by Alexander Krull of Atrocity and fronted by Elena Sirala. I think is how you pronounce it. She's Finnish. I don't speak Finnish. You'd think I would with all the hockey I watch, but or not speak Finnish, but at least be able to pronounce some of the last names. But here we are. So yeah, this musically the band is symphonic heavy metal. So it's definitely that theatrical at times. Lyrically, they tend to focus on historical and mythological themes, mostly from the Viking era, Viking age, which I think is awesome. I just like it when bands do that sort of thing. And the vinyl is this clear with blue and black splatter, which is kind of neat. So originally, the band was formed, like I said, by Alexander and his then wife, Liv Christine, in the role female vocalist. And in 2016, I believe there was a split in the band and the marriage, and so Alina has come in since then. Honestly, I kind of prefer Liv's performance over Alina's, but still, nonetheless, it's really good. And we actually, my wife and I met Alexander and Alina a few years back. Actually, they played at this small bar in the Detroit area, and totally down to earth people. They were so great, and we just hung out, and they were just so friendly. Of course, Alexander's like 18 feet tall, so he's not like literally down to earth. But he just seemed like a really cool dude. So I was really shout out to Alexander. If you want to check out, if you don't know the band and you want to check out what their sound is all about, check out the song off of this album called Realm of Dark Waves. It's just upbeat, uplifting melodies, chugging riffs. This will really give you an idea of what this band is about if you're not familiar with them. In Eternity is also another good song to check out. Has a really catchy, almost folky sort of melody to it. Now they're definitely not a folk metal album, but there is a track on here towards the end of the album on side 2, Ein Herr Jahr. And again, my Norse is not that great, but that one is as close as they get to folk metal. That's a really good song. And if you dig folk metal, Viking metal, Ein Herr Jahr is also an excellent band you really need to check out. Assuming I said that correctly. I really like that band. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good one. It's not their best. Like I said, I like the Liv Christine era much more than I do what they've been putting out lately. But still, this is a really good album. I really enjoyed it. My wife loves it. And if it sounds like your thing, you should give them check these guys out if you don't know about them. So this is Myths of Fate by Leaves' Eyes. This next one was, again, I was really happy to find this one. It went back in when I was looking for modern synthwave, cold wave, synth pop. One of their videos popped up in my YouTube algorithm, and I thought I'd give it a listen, and I really liked what I heard, so much so that I went ahead and pre-ordered it. And this is the debut album from a band called Ultrasun, called Us, US. Came out in April 2024 on Artifact Record. Again, their debut album. Don't let the cover fool you. Honestly, though, if I'd have seen this, not having heard anything or any clips or anything, I probably still would have picked it up just because of the cover. It's just fucking crazy. But anyway, yeah, so this is a Belgian cold wave duo, and as I said, it's their first album. On this sort of lavender-ish vinyl. Right off the get-go, with the lead-off track, Broken Monsters, you're gonna hear that Depeche Mode influence. So if you're into the whole that sort of synth sort of sound, God, say it, you're definitely gonna like what you hear on this album. And if you're into bands like outfits like Crystal Method, there's a lot on here for you there as well. On side B, there's a song called The Truth, which definitely has a Crystal Method sort of sound to it. But my favorite track on this album is Some Ghosts Could Follow, which has this very nice, very cool, very 80s goth synth sound. Really dug that song. But I dig the album entirely. I'm really pleased. I'm happy that I picked this up. Happy I pre-ordered it. Looking forward to what they come out with next. Although, of course, this has only been out a month. But you can always want more, right? So yeah, this is US or Us by Ultrasun. All right, gonna go back to Record Store Day for this next one. I was really looking forward to finding this one, and I didn't have really too much trouble finding it, and so I was happy I got it. This is Bend Over and Pray the Lord by Lordi. It came out on Music on Vinyl. It's a double LP album. So yeah, Lordi is a Finnish heavy, hard horror rock sort of band, fronted or similar to, if you think like bands like Gwar. I mean, they've got the whole theatrical thing going on. Came out on this nice gray, smoky, marbly vinyl. And the story behind this album is that, you know, they won the, I think, 2006 Eurovision. Well, actually, this happened before that. They did win the 2006 Eurovision contest, but this was before that. It comes with this pretty cool booklet. Anyway, story behind this album. It was recorded in 1997 and was set to be their debut release, but due to record company shenanigans, it got shelved, was never released. When all the record label stuff was settled down, they ended up just recording a new album to be their debut. So what this is basically one of those lost recordings, but you know, that's cool, and that's the reason I was looking for it. But what you got here is, you know, it's basic, you know, hard rock with some horror elements. There's also some industrial electronic elements going on here as well, particularly on the last couple of tracks, because it really goes into the electronic genre quite a bit, which is fine by me. A couple of tracks, if you want to check them out, if you're interested at all. Steamroller has a great driving guitar. Need to slow it down just a bit. Really good groove on that one. Almost Human is a cover of the Kiss song from, I think, '77. It's okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's an okay song. Nothing great. And Take Me to Your Leader, which is the track I like the most. Maybe you should check this one out. It's nice guitar effects. It's got this glam rock groove to it. I really enjoyed that one the best. I'm happy I got this album. It's not their best, and I think if you're curious about Lordi and you want to check them out a little bit more in depth, don't start with this one. This is probably definitely. This one is definitely for fans of the band. If you already know and familiar with them, you could pick this one up. Otherwise, I would wait. I would get a couple of their other albums in first. So this is Bend Over and Pray the Lord by Lordi. This next one I got pretty much as a joke. I was at an estate sale in Grand Blanc a little while ago, and where they had advertised records. And you know, estate sales are always hit or miss, and for me it's mostly miss. And because, you know, they like start on Thursdays, well, some of us have jobs and can't do that, so by the time I get there on Saturday, it's usually either all been picked over, or it originally just had Ray Conniff and you know, Burt Bacharach and just anyway. So then that was pretty much the case with this. I got there, it had been picked over. So we decided, my wife and I decided, just to kind of wander around, see what else was going on. And I came across an entertainment cabinet. The TV and stereo system were gone, but there were two, like, you know, cabinet doors at the bottom that were closed. I opened them up, and whole shelf full of records. So I started to go through them, and I ended up grabbing 6 or 7 Ventures records. You know, I love the Ventures. Beautiful, pristine condition. I'll show them later. I haven't got them all cleaned up and ready to go yet. But I also came across this one, and I showed it to my wife, and I'm like, hey, can you believe this? Look at this stuff. And it was just a joke. And she's like, no, you should get that. This is great. And I'm like, okay. So we ended up getting that. And this is Music to Strip by Gentleman Jim and his Palace Pit Orchestra, I think it's called. Yeah, and the Palace Pit Orchestra. And it came out in 1969 on Alshire Records. It's part of the 100. It's associated with the 101 Strings series of stuff. And like I said, we just looked at this and thought this is hilarious. And I mean, it's got tracks like the G String Twist, C Cup Blues, Girdles Away, and of course it has, the Stripper. Everybody knows that one. But this was, we put it on, and it was fun. It was a fun listen. I gotta admit, it was interesting. But you just gotta kind of think, like it says right here, fun entertainment at home burlesque at its best. But I gotta wonder, I don't know if you can see this, but there's this writing down here next to the songs. It's like some sort of code. I mean, it's not like track times or anything. There's like 4 A's and 1 B's and 3 numbers, 3 character numbers. What were they doing? I don't know. Very interesting. So, but anyway, just kind of a novelty thing. We thought it was funny. And so, yeah. Why don't you try some Music to Strip by? This next one was a blind buy. I picked it up because I thought the cover was interesting. I'd never heard of this singer or artist before. And this is Love's a Liar by Marty LeBeau. It came out in 1987 on Atlantic. Like I said, cover was kind of interesting. I thought, give it a try. And 1987 was an interesting year for music. It turns out Marty LeBeau was a singer-songwriter out of New York. And this ended up being her second and final solo album or album. She, I guess, released a jazz funk sort of album back in the 70s under a same name but a different spelling. I can't remember off the top of my head. Phonetically, it sounds the same. But this is definitely not jazz funk. It's firmly in the AOR style of rock. There's comparisons that are inevitably going to be made to Pat Benatar. But her music, Marty's music, many of the songs feature a saxophone pretty predominantly. So you think of it, it sounds to me kind of like a female-fronted E Street band, which is kind of interesting. Some tracks you might want to check out are Another Lonely Heart, which is a real high-energy, up-tempo rocker. I like the vocal harmonies on there. It's got some catchy keyboards as well. And Learning the Hard Way is another good one. It's got a mid-tempo. It's more of a mid-tempo. It's got a pretty cool guitar riff. The chorus is sort of a sing-songy sort of chorus, which was interesting. So yeah, this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's pretty good. The second half of the album, she fades. It's like, off a cliff. The quality and the interest kind of fades pretty fast. But still, I think if you're a fan of 80s rock, might be worth giving this one at least look, see if you can find something on YouTube or whatever. So this is Love's a Liar by Marty LeBeau. This next one is from a band that I have heard a lot about, or I shouldn't say heard a lot about, but I hear a lot. But I knew nothing about them until I picked up this album. And this is their debut. It's Thanks to Ra by Sad Cafe. Came out in 1977 on right there, RCA. This came out only in the UK, wasn't released in the US, so this is a UK press. And as I said, it's their debut album. They're an English band from Manchester, and they play just basically keyboard, or not keyboard, but keyboard heavy 70s rock. I kind of hear a little bit of, in my mind, I'm making connections to bands like ELO or Moody Blues, but more pop than prog as far as Sad Cafe goes. I really enjoyed the song Shell Shock. Has a great funky groove to it, nice keyboard leads. Black Rose, I love that one. It was it's just it's great 70s pop rock, great, very nice chorus. This has a little bit of slightly proggy keys on that track, so that was pretty cool. And then of course the title track is just has some pretty wicked guitar leads. But yeah, I'm very pleased with having picked this one up. It's it was surprising. I didn't expect it to be as enjoyable as it was. I don't know why, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I am certainly going to look for more from this band. So this is Thanks Tara by Sad Cafe. And finally, for the month of May 2024, this one comes from a band which probably really doesn't need much of an introduction. This is First Glance by April Wine. Came out in 1978 on Capitol Records. This is their 7th studio album. And in case for whatever reason you don't know what or who April Wine is, they are a Canadian rock band out of Nova Scotia, Canada. And this really was their break album, or the breakout album outside of Canada. And mostly that is due to the song Roller, which cracked the top 40 in the US and is just a classic 70s anthem with chugging riffs, dancing bass. I mean, I really love that song, and that's just a fun song. This is also the first album since Brian Greenway joined the band, and he contributed with a couple of the other highlights of the album, one being Right Down to It, which is one of the album's better tracks, I think, and I'm Alive. That's another fun one. So yeah, this is just a really solid album of 70s rock bangers and ballads. It's just really good stuff. I enjoy this one. I have a couple of other April Wine albums. I think maybe 2, possibly 3. I think mostly 2. But I definitely, especially after listening to this, I realized that I need to really work on fleshing out that collection a little bit better, because this is a good band. They're kind of underrated maybe, but definitely for those of us who like 70s rock, a band that we need to keep on the radar. So yeah, this is First Glance by April Wine. Well, all right, that will wrap up the additions to the vinyl collection in for May of 2024. I do want to thank everybody who has subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the likes on the videos, and especially for the comments. That really makes my day whenever I see a comment from you all. So if any of these albums look interesting to you, or you have feelings on any of these albums, you own them, like them, heard of them, love to hear from you in the comments. Like I said, that really makes my day. So thank you for sticking with me on this one, and all the others too. Until next time, I will let you go and talk to you soon.